I'm Andrew Allison. I'm the CEO of Cuvee Collective. Today, we're going to talk about wine in Web3. Cuvee Collective has partnered up with some of the best wine brands in wine country, and we're helping them launch their first wine NFT collections. Wine NFTs have events, experiences, and wine allocation that are off menu and curated so that you're getting the best that these wineries have to offer. And that is what is so exciting about wine in Web3. Today, we get the opportunity to go visit the Robert Craig Winery team at their tasting salon in downtown Napa to go experience their offerings and help them ideate through what their wine NFT benefit should be.
Andrew, welcome to Robert Craig.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Got a little breakfast wine for you.
It smells delicious. What is this?
2020 Gaps Crown Chardonnay.
Whoa, all right.
Come on in, let's get things started.
Way to start.
All right, why don't we go ahead and grab a seat, make yourselves at home right here on the couch.
Wow, that's delightful. That's bright. I love it.
It's a beautiful representation of what we do producing site-specific wines, really trying to maintain the quality of that vineyard without losing touch with it in the cellar.
How many cases of this do you make in a year?
Generally about 200 to 300 cases total.
Wow, so not very much at all.
It's enough to get you through the summer.
Well, thanks for sharing it. Well, I'd love to spend today working with you to identify what benefits we should put into the Robert Craig wine NFT. What are some of the best things Robert Craig can offer?
Ultimately, with Robert Craig Winery, we are a small production, family-owned winery. We are a classic mountain farmer in Napa Valley. We own about 90% of our wines are produced from the vineyards that we actually own.
Nice.
And the winery itself is actually positioned up at the northeasternmost appellation in Napa Valley, which is known as Howell Mountain.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to kick this tasting off. And as we go through the day, maybe you could just continue to tell me more about the Robert Craig brand.
Absolutely. All right, my friends. So today I was thinking we would work through a few of these different Howell Mountain wines, but I want to begin with our 18 vintage of Howell Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon. This is our estate cab that I feel best reflects at a high level what we do up at the mountain property with each vintage. Generally about 85 to 90% cab with a little bit of Merlot just to round off the wine. It's beautiful, right? Sings in the glass. For this next wine, we've got our 18 vintage of The Stick, which is a reference to our Candlestick Ridge vineyard.
And so this vineyard actually had fire damage and it lost some of the vines in the actual fire.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow. And these are both from Howell Mountain?
Correct.
Wow, that's super interesting. That smells delicious. Let me just give it a quick sip. Wow. That tastes just like a completely different wine, but they're from the same vineyards. Are the vineyards next to each other? Are they different blocks?
Some of the blocks that supply the stick do make it into the estate Cabernet Sauvignon. They're actually the same vintage in this circumstance as well, which is a super fun comparison.
Wow.
It's a really great representation of what we do up on the mountain, but I've got a pretty special wine to share with you to finish this off here. This is our 16 vintage of Robert's Block. This is a single vineyard, single block, single varietal, and single barrel production Cabernet Sauvignon from Howell Mountain. So we don't produce this every year. It's ultimately an homage to Robert Craig that is ultimately a project where 5 barrels is vetted down to 1. Think of this as the essence of Cabernet Sauvignon from Robert Craig on Howell Mountain.
So even though you make 300 bottles a year, some years you don't even make it because it isn't at the standard that you want it.
We look at Robert's Block as this diamond at the very top of the pyramid, but we also need to build the base with some of these other wines that we depend on. But on those rare events where weather really does play in our favor, nature just gives us a total rockin' vintage, we really want to showcase that with a wine that is just ultimately not available to everybody. We don't even really allocate this out to our club. It's made available in kind of a hand sell type of format. I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think we should go cruise up to the mountain and see what it's all about.
All right, well, let's go check out Howell Mountain. So that was super exciting. We had a great meeting with Scott. Now we're just driving up Napa Valley. We're gonna go actually meet Scott at Robert Craig's private estate winery. So this will be the first opportunity to go check out this property that, you know, as Scott mentioned, is something that is seldom seen by many people. So I'm really excited to go see their production facility. Also excited to go see this epic view that I've heard so much about. Hey, Scott.
Andrew, my friend, welcome to the summit.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. What do we got? Another white?
Yes, sir. New vintage, Gaps Crown Chardonnay.
So this is the same one new year that I had earlier today.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Beautiful, bright wine. Beautiful wine to take this all in. I was thinking today we'd start off up top, take in the full landscape, and then do a nice little barrel tasting. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, sounds great.
After you.
Wow, look at this view.
So I think to really explore wines from grape to bottle, we really need to go check it out in barrel.
Okay.
So I think the next step in this process is for us to go see what that's all about.
Can we see your cellar?
Let's go do a little barrel taste.
I love it, let's do it.
So with this tool, we're gonna actually go straight in through the top of this barrel, thiefing, as the tool is called, a bit of wine out for us to enjoy here. In this state, it's going to be very young, very primary, a lot of that fruit expression up front. The barrel qualities haven't really made their way into a full integration yet on the wine. That's what we're really looking for over the next few months here. Oh, but that is lovely. Cheers.
So cool. After spending the day with Robert Craig, almost certainly we have to do a private group tasting up at that amazing estate. I'm super proud of the curated collection and offering that we were able to put together with them. I think this is exactly what Cuvee Collective is about. We're putting together the best curated wine NFT experiences, and I think the most prized possession that Robert Craig offers is that limited edition Robert's Block single estate cab. They only make 300 bottles a year and they don't even produce that wine every year. Almost certainly we'll have to work with Robert Craig's team to set aside a bottle for each of our NFT collectors. Last and not least, they have a bunch of community events at their tasting room, so our community is going to get invites to wine club members only events at their tasting saloon in downtown Napa. Go check out Robert Craig's wine NFT. There's only going to be 50 of them. We hope you like what we've worked out with Robert Craig to put into the Robert Craig wine NFT collection. You can come check out this NFT and all the other NFTs that Cuvee Collective has to offer on our site at cuveecollective.com. Come join the collective.